There's the infamous Candace.
Mom, where's your stick my shoes?
I don't know. Those are
Okay, I'll wait a
colors
few-
soon, so decide.
Oh, no.
few minutes or seconds.
Because I really don't want to.
Okay, we're gonna
Yeah,
go.
we gotta go in fire truck. Abby Corner, had a fight.
Hi. And welcome to the Treasure Kingdom Book Launch Parties. I'm here with author Lori Burnett, and we'd like to check in with Donovan, our live stream correspondent.
Well, I'm just waiting for people to come in.
Okay, it's getting pretty exciting. We've got some awesome shares so far. We'd like to thank everyone for coming. We've got some great snacks and refreshments, so please help yourselves to that. Thanks so much to Wendy Crandall, Irene, Aurora Burnett for all your hard work in getting all of those ready for us today.
And if anyone would like to share where they're watching from, and if they have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section so that Donovan can keep up with the answers, and feel free to share this link with other people so that more people can join.
We've got some great prizes to give away today. Lori, can you tell us about the first prize?
I sure can. So our first prize is from a ministry in southern Saskatchewan called Rock Solid Refuge. And so with Rock Solid Refuge, my husband and I worked with them for 2.5 years, and they are a ministry that deals with struggling teenage boys who struggle with life controlling issues. So they come to us dealing with substance abuse, anger abuse, feelings of abandonment, and suicidal thoughts, and several other life controlling issues. It is a very powerful ministry, and it has a huge impact of boys all across Canada. It's a sister company from Teen Challenge, because Teen Challenge only deals with adults in Canada, so Rock Solid deals with the teenage part of that in Canada. So they have donated to us a water bottle. So this is the Rock Solid water bottle. And we also have a t-shirt here. It's an extra large t-shirt from Rock Solid. And so that'll be our first door prize that we'll be giving away. And if Donovan wants to come up and draw the first name, that would be wonderful.
Can you also post the link, Donovan? For watching. Oh,
Sure,
thank you. Our live stream correspondent is right on top of that.
Okay.
So our first winner is Irene Burnett. Gets the Rock Solid t-shirt and water bottle. Would you like to come and get that?
Okay,
Congratulations. Irene!
Congratulations. Would you like to tell us what the next prize is?
So this next prize is a course that I created on overcoming fear in your life. It is a 6-day course that deals with different aspects of fear in your life, and let's see if I can get it here. So if you win this prize, it is a 6-day course, and it deals with fear of success, fear of failure, fear of abandonment, fear of many different fears that different people of us face. And so this is a course that you can take. So the winner to this door prize will get the chance to, we'll get your email, and once it's up and running, we'll send a link to you. And so,
Great prize.
yes, it is a wonderful prize. It is one that I've been working on for a while. And so our next door prize winner for the Overcoming Fear Life series is Corinne Hewitt. So she is one of our online people. So congratulations, Corinne, and feel free to send your name and address, an email address to our email link, which is authorloriburnett@gmail.com. And congratulations.
That will be announced in minutes from now, so please make sure you first of all register for the party, share this live stream on your Facebook and post your comments. In the comments below, tell us where you're watching from, and you can order books through emailing your request to author Lori at authorlorigurnett@gmail.com, or you can order books on Amazon and you email your receipt through authorlorigurnett@gmail.com. You can also look at the links that Donovan has posted on the page. You should see it there. To buy a book. If you're here in Wetaskiwin, at any time you can get additional copies here at our book table in the back. Maureen will be here to sign after the event tonight, and we also have a Treasure Kingdom cake. Hey Lori, tell us why a fiction book.
Well, I find with fiction, it is easier to reach those who are struggling the most. They're more open to the story, and they can relate better with the characters in the story. And they can finally be able to understand a little bit better what their own internal struggles are, and they can understand kind of where they're going and where they're at as well in a relationship with the characters who are struggling with death and identity issues.
Can you tell us what it's about?
Sure. It starts out with two teenage siblings who are struggling with the tragic death of their oldest brother. And so they're dealing with who they are, they're dealing with raw grief, they're dealing with suicidal thoughts and just why they're even here. And they get, through all these emotions, they get pulled into what we call Treasure Kingdom, which is a fantasy world. And in the first place, they end up finding themselves in different locations. So they got to go on a journey to find each other. And along that journey, they learn different biblical truths along the way. When they do find each other, they have to combine what they learned to save a princess, a kingdom, and discover ultimately what the greatest treasure really is.
Why did you want to write specifically towards the young adults?
Because I find the young adults and teens of this era, of this years, they seem to be struggling the most. The numbers of suicide is growing rapidly, and a lot of people don't understand that there is help. They feel that they're alone in the journey, and I know for a fact that you're not alone. I know that I've dealt with suicidal thoughts, my husband has too, and also we've dealt with a lot of death in the last few years, and so we understand that it is a rough road, and it is a very lonely road. But through Treasure Kingdom, I'm hoping to reach those who are struggling with that pain and that hurt and that grief, so that they can understand that there is hope and that there is someone out there that does care for them. And yeah, if you have any questions, I am definitely open to answering any of the online questions as well. And I know pretty soon we'll be checking in with Donovan to find out if there's anybody who has answered or asked any questions or shared any of the live feed or has shared where they're from as well.
It's really, I read the book and I actually believe that anything is possible. When you do this works. Can you tell us about your main characters, Sonora and Josiah?
Yes, Sonora and Josiah, their personalities are based off of my own kids. And so they were my inspiration to their internal struggles as well as how they interact with each other. You will see some of their arguments in the beginning of the book.
If anyone has kids, they'll know exactly which one.
Yes. So they were my inspiration, and also a lot of the grief and a lot of the struggles with identity came into the book last year. Last year was a very dark year for my family. In February, we lost my mother-in-law, and he'd been struggling with dementia and other things for quite a while, and so he passed away in February, and then, sorry,
It's okay.
and then in May of last year, my dad passed away of cancer and of lung cancer. And that was, he had been diagnosed the previous December and was gone in May. And then in October, my father-in-law's sister passed away, and she had lung fibrosis, and she had been dealing with that for quite a while. And then in the end of November, a friend of mine was tragically killed in a car accident with her mother-in-law. So it's been a tough year. It has been a tough year, and so I understand the grief that many of us go through, especially when you lose someone you love. And seeing how my kids dealt with losing both their grandpas last year, a lot of that raw emotion and that fear went into the book. And it's a challenge to those who read it, that there is hope, and that you're not alone in life. And that
Courage and faith.
Mhm.
It is possible.
Exactly. And like the biggest thing in the book is friendship is a bond, but family is unbreakable. And that is reiterated throughout the book, as well as that no matter the storm that you're facing, you're not alone, and you will find that strength and that courage to continue on because you're not battling alone.
Thank you for sharing all that with us. Okay, we're going to give you a little rest now.
Mhm.
Donovan, we're going to check in with Donovan at live stream correspondent. We just want to remind you, if you'd like to any chance to win any of these prizes, please register for the party, share this live stream on your Facebook, and post in the comments. Tell us where you're watching from, because we'd really like to know. You can order books. You can email Lori at authorloriburnett@gmail.com. You can order books on Amazon. And email your receipts to authorloriburnett@gmail.com. Donovan has shared the links to Amazon Raising there on the page, so you should be able to see that. Have you had some shares online?
I haven't seen any shares yet, but just a couple people from Oklahoma and a couple people from all over the United
Thanks for
States.
joining us.
Thank you for joining Oklahoma.
Okay. Did you want to tell us about the next prize? Turn the book. Next page. Yep.
Okay, so our next prize is actually a free copy of my book, Treasure Kingdom. This is the very first paperback copy I ever received. So I have written and signed at the beginning of the book, first soft cover copy. So for those who want to be in the door prizes for that, get your names in, and you can have the opportunity to win this prize.
Great. Donovan, did you draw the name for the first
Make it
picture?
run.
We have to study this script. Okay. We have, Shar.
Shar Houghton.
Enjoy your boy.
Here you go. Congratulations. So everybody online is having earthquake, so technical difficulties. Give me 1 second. Deborah's all home with my son. It's so loud, my business is in chairs here. We're making some more scenery.
She's about to thank him here, so you go ahead.
Yes, that was perfect timing.
Yes.
So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my lovely husband, Merv, and my 2 children, Logan and Aurora Burnett, for all of your support and encouragement. You did get to see Aurora if you had joined on the previous live feed. Aurora and Keely were so lovely showing you guys around. And so I'd like to thank also Keely for all of her support as well. They have been an encouragement to me and have encouraged me to never give up and to continue writing. And I'd like to thank my endorsements, Joan Turley and Dallas Block, for their encouraging words as well. And I would also like to give a huge thank you to John Chalette, the lead singer of Petra, who wrote my foreword for me. It was truly an honor. And thank you also to Author Academy Elite for believing in me. Thank you, Carrie Oberbrunner, for always reminding me that there is always support and hope, no matter what I face. And thank you, Daphne Smith, for accepting me into Author Academy Elite, because you were the first person in Author Academy Elite to believe in me. So thank you very much.
How did you get started?
Well, it was a long journey. I guess it would start out with the author Andrea Fair. She wrote a book called Freaking Out to Flying Free, and that published with Author Academy Elite last year. And I've known Andrea for over 20 years. And she was actually a mentor to me several years ago in Bible school. And so when I heard that she had started the process with Author Academy Elite, I reached out to her, and she sent me a link for a webinar to seek out Carrie Oberbrunner. And I just started there, and I watched the webinar and went through and set up with the payment plan, went through an interview process with Daphne Smith, and through that I was able to continue with the journey. I originally wrote my first draft 3 years ago.
Sounds like they were really helpful on the journey.
They were, yeah.
That's good. Encouraging.
Oh, and I also want to thank Nikki Klegel for all of your support as well. She is also part of Author Academy Elite, and she does her own radio show. And I've been able to reach out to her a few times, and she's always been able to give me an encouraging word through either email, or we've also talked on the phone a few times. I'd also like to take this time to thank all of my beta readers. They have been a huge help in the editing process. Donna Porritt, Gwen Matthews, Cordy Moyer, Stacy Green, Sandra Fram, Tina Morlock, Stacy Armstrong, Andrea Carlson, Aislinn Bell, April Gurnett, Liliana Moyer, and Tanis. Thank you very much so much for your help and your support. And I'd like to actually share with you what Stacy Green had written in her endorsement to me. It says, "This story touched me in many ways. Having lost 2 brothers myself, I identified with the heartache of Josiah and Sonora at the unexpected loss of their brother. Lori makes the wisdom of the Bible come alive as Sonora and Josiah go on a wild and dangerous journey to find each other and find healing." And she is also the author of the Letters to the Dead Men.
Donovan, can you post the Stacy Green's website up so everyone can look it up? It's www.stacygreencoaching.com. So I guess this brings us to our next door prize. It looks like our next door prize is twofold. 2 copies of Stacy Green's Letters to a Dead Man. And Donovan, can you come pick 2 winners for each of these books? Yeah. Okay. Michelle,
Dead Man is Lorraine Arnold. So I will give you the certificate, and when the books arrive, I will give you one in person. So there you go. You get to hold that until you get the book.
Enjoy your story. Oh, we need to pick another one. Sorry, guys.
We have 2 books.
Okay, thanks.
And when you had that done, I know that Tina Morlock asked if you could tag her in the video, so if you could do that, that would be wonderful. So our second winner to the Letters to Dead Man is Jane Carlson. Here you go. Your mother.
So why do you think Trisha Payton resonated with all generations, right?
Because I know that the feeling of grief and the feeling of understanding where you are can hit you at any age. I know some people refer to it as an identity crisis when you're 40.
Middle age crisis.
Middle age, yeah. Many refer to it then, and people deal with grief at any stage of their life. And they also deal with how they view themselves and how they see other people viewing them. And so I feel that this could reach out to any generation.
You can start to find your place in the world at any age.
Exactly. Yeah.
I just want to remind everyone again, there's still 5 ways to enter for the rest of the door prizes. So register for the party, share this live stream on your Facebook, and post your comments below. Tell us where you're watching from. You can order books through email your request to authorloriburnett@gmail.com. You can order books on Amazon and email your receipt to authorloriburnett@gmail.com.
It's not.
It is. This book isn't just fiction, it's a journey of self-discovery, healing, and finding your courage. What else would you like to share with us?
Well, that everyone struggles with self-limiting beliefs, and they struggle with not fitting in and whether or not they're worth anything. I just like to encourage that people do have a future, they do have importance, and you were placed on this earth with a specific purpose. And until that purpose is done, you're going to be here. So just remember that when you feel that you have no value, you actually do. Because when you don't fulfill what you've been put on this earth to do, others are missing out.
Thank you for sharing this day with us and for all of your encouraging words. If you do decide to buy a book off Amazon, we'd like you to review and please share it on social media. The more this message gets out there, the better it will be for everyone who reads the book and also for Lori, of course. Once you have shared, you keep posting in your comments below to keep for your chances to win more prizes.
Share a photo screenshot of your review as well.
We have a big grand prize coming up. Do you want to tell us about the grand prize?
Sure. So the grand prize, actually we have other door prizes before the
Before the grand prize?
Yes, we do.
Want to share the next
Sure. I'm just trying to figure out which door prize we're on.
I have this one. Okay, you have?
Yes. Just making sure.
Okay.
So Tina Morlock was my editor, and she was a huge impact and a huge encouragement in editing. She's my professional editor that helps me through the editing of Treasure Kingdom. And she has also written her own book, and it's called Editing Survival Guide for Writers. This is a book that helps you through the process of self-publishing and how to connect yourself with the right editor for your story. And so Tina is going to be donating a written signed copy of her book, as well as a $100 gift card towards an editing contract with her. And so if you want to be entered in this, definitely get those shares in, definitely share where you're from. If you share where you're from, your name goes into those door prizes as well. And yeah.
So should we draw the next winner then?
Sure. And also, if the Dogbin wants to post in the live feed how they can connect with Tina Morlock, it is www.tinamorlock.com. Thanks, Dad.
Okay. Looking.
Let's pick a different name. Because I'm sure Tina doesn't want to win her own
Her own
prize. We'll put her back in for another one. That was Blake.
Oh my goodness.
He's playing tricks on me. He's playing. That's funny.
Me? What did I do?
You put a blanket in there.
I didn't.
So our winner is Darby Frolic. So yay for Darby. She is a friend of mine from Shaunavon. So congratulations.
Okay, are we going to share the Treasure Kingdom's trailer?
Yes. So if Logan would like to share the Treasure Kingdom trailer, we will share it on the live stream. So anyone here, we've had technical difficulties of trying to get it on here. So if anyone wants to see it, you'll have to crowd around the computer or go onto your Facebook page to watch it. And you just have to let us know.
A constant stench of blood lingers in my nostrils, and the sounds of sirens and squealing tires are a painful reminder of what happened that day. It haunts me every time I close my eyes.
Who are you really, Nora?
Honestly, I don't know who I am.
Nothing prepared us for what was coming.
And we're back.
Hope everyone enjoyed that trailer. I haven't seen it myself. You can't make me work very hard on it.
Yes.
Okay, this is going to bring us to our very next door prize. So this one is Treasure Kingdom Discovery. It's a 40-day course on discovering who you are and how to reach your full potential. It's connected with the Treasure Kingdom book. It is a course that is sectioned into 4 10-day courses and on how you see yourself. How do you present yourself? What is your purpose? And when you step up and fulfill that purpose. It's quite a challenging and stretching journey. Sounds exciting. We're going to be announcing this grand prize. You may have just joined us. This is your last chance to enter. So please register for the party, share this live stream, comment where you're from, where you're watching from. You can order your books through emailing your request at authorwarriornet@gmail.com. You can order books from Amazon and email your receipt to authorwarriornet@gmail.com. So, can you share more with us about your Treasure Kingdom Discovery course?
Sure. So it is an online course that I created, and it coincides with the Treasure Kingdom book. And so once the link is up and running, I will send you the link for whoever wins this. And it is a 40-day course, and it includes an intro video, and then there's a section in a PDF file that you read and some questions just to really get you thinking. There are some YouTube video links that you can click on in relation to the topic for the day. And it is a journey of discovering where your potential is and where your strengths are and your self-worth and value.
So we're going to wait a couple of minutes before we do that. First, I want to ask you about John Schlitt. Why did you choose to reach out to him to bring it forward?
Well, John Schlitt is the lead singer of Petra, and he's been singing with them for several years, and now that Petra has gone their separate ways, he now tours and he shares his story of how he has overcome suicidal thoughts and drug abuse. And so his story was very strong and it resonated with me greatly. And of course, my husband is a huge fan of John Schlitt. So I reached out to him and got a hold of his assistant, Sue. And through correspondence with her, I sent out an email just requesting for an endorsement first. And as we talked, he asked for a copy, a rough copy of the book. And so I sent him a copy, and he loved it, and said that he would write a photo for me. So
That's great.
yeah.
Great. Can we share John Schlitt's 5-minute testimony on YouTube, Donovan?
Yeah.
Okay, good. The link up there if you'd like to read his or see his 5-minute testimony there.
Are we offline?
John Schlitt is a classic example of a small-town guy getting caught up in a fast lifestyle. In college, John linked up with the rock band Head East as the lead singer. After just one radio hit, record labels came knocking on their door. But John's good guy image didn't quite fit the rocker mentality that Head East needed. So his band manager advised him to party more like a lead singer. John was introduced to cocaine, and in just 3 months, he was hooked.
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. My whole day depended on how much coke I had in my little bottle.
So you couldn't even function in the world that you were living in without.
I drink beer to go down. I do coke to get up. And it was a lousy way to live. I wasn't living, I was killing myself.
Well, it was so bad, in fact, that they asked you to leave.
The band was always number one next to my life, my family, everything, my health. And all of a sudden the band's not there anymore. And I'm like a fish out of water. I don't know what to do.
John spent the next 6 months singing, binge drinking, and snorting cocaine.
What was this doing to your wife?
Right in the beginning of the same 6 months that I'm heading down, she gets saved, and it becomes a on-fire, heavy-duty Christian.
It was by the grace of God that we stayed together, because there was just, when all this took place, he was not a fun person to be around. He was not, he was miserable. Our church was praying for him. I was praying for him. There was a war going on for him. I knew it.
The bills were piling up, and John's addictions weren't backing down. One night, he passed out on the couch.
And I woke up the next morning, and my 1-year-old son was looking at me real strange. Like, why are you here, Dad? I mean, why are you on the couch? It was a sweet little innocent thing, but I realized that the animal that was on stage had finally made it home. And the little voice goes, John, you're worth more dead than alive. And I thought about it. I said, yeah, I sure am. That's a great idea.
While the children played on the carpet in the living room, John plotted his own death.
I had decided in one quick instant that this was the best thing for my family. I finally thought of something that I could do for my family.
That also happened to be the same day John promised to meet Dorla's pastor.
I went because I wanted her to remember that I tried. So when I finished myself off, she would say, well, you did go talk to the pastor.
The pastor challenged John's view of God.
You don't know that Jesus loves you. You don't know that Jesus has a plan for your life. You don't know that Jesus knows exactly what you're thinking right now.
The power of God's presence knocked him to the floor, and John gave his life to Christ.
The minute I finished it, it was like a ton of lead lifted right off of my shoulders, my head and my shoulders. I mean, I didn't realize I weighed that much.
He was instantly delivered from cocaine and soon lost his desire for alcohol.
I had a hold of my daughter's hand, and I looked at her, and I think the first thing God ever said to me was, John, you know those treasures you were looking for? All that money you wanted to make, all those riches? Here they are right here, and I've been taking care of them. Now you start.
John put music aside. In time, he landed a job as a mining engineer. Life began to look pretty good.
Well, you've got a beautiful home, you have a great church, great job, your kids are going to Christian school. This must be the American dream. And all of a sudden, nope, don't be content with this. This is not it. This is not it. I got a phone call from Bob Hartman, which was totally out of the blue.
Bob wanted him to front as the lead singer for Petra.
The only way to ever sing rock and roll is if it was in a Christian band like Petra. You're going out because you have a reason to do it. You want to see lives change.
In his 20 years with Petra, the band brought home 4 Grammys and 10 Dove Awards. Then in 2005, Petra said its farewells. John's brand of retirement includes working on a solo album and perfecting his woodworking skills.
Looking back over everything, which is really hard.
That's a lot of years, buddy.
What does your story say about the true character of God?
He never gave up on me when he should have. I know that I'm going to see God, but not because of what I did. I sin every day. But the blood of God, God's blood was shed for me. That's good enough to get me there.
Thank you, Josh, for presenting us that testimony. So Donovan here has a viewer of the live stream feed. So from Carrie, she has a question for you. How long did it take you to write the book?
The original draft was written 3 years ago.
So 3 years.
Yes.
Okay. And did you always want to be a writer?
Actually, no. It's been a long journey between several different things that I wanted to be growing up. It varied from wanting to be a mermaid when I was a kid to wanting to be a draftsman and build and design houses. I wrote poetry in high school, and I even wanted to be a show jumper, but I never took any horse lessons. So yeah, there was that. Lots of pipe dreams. Yeah, I didn't really think I was good enough to write until probably just a few years ago.
Good, well, we're glad you did. Thank you for those questions, Carrie. Now in this, we will draw our grand prize for the 40 Day Treasure Kingdom Discovery Course.
Is there any other questions on the live feed? Yeah?
Okay.
So our winner today, Corinne Hewitt gets to win the grand prize again. So congratulations. She is right here from Hannah, another author. So congratulations, Corinne.
Very exciting. Okay, can you tell us a little bit of where you want the Treasure Kingdom to go?
Well, I would love to see it become a movie. I have created other low-budget films in the past, but I would love to see it become a professional film. And I know one of my inspirations are the church that makes the like Overcomer that just recently came out. And so one of my favorite films by them is Facing the Giants. That's one of my favorites. And so if I could ever connect with them, that would be amazing. But yes, I would like to see it reach into the hands of many different people, those who need it the most and those who desire to discover who they are and to push forward and to hopefully move into getting the course up and running as well and to be able to reach more people.
Can we hope for a sequel?
Yes, I am working on it. I have in my brain several different aspects of the sequel, which will be a story of another character that is in the first book, and who struggles with abuse and a lot of he also struggles with suicide as well. But a lot of the aspects of abuse in his family, and so it'll be his journey. I look forward to reading that one. Thank you. So basically, as the book says, friendship is a bond and family is unbreakable. Life seems so dark when death hangs in the balance and is facing you. Grief might win the battle unless you learn the true strength within you and become an immovable force. Remember, if you have a small speck of light, darkness has no ability to stand in the light. So you hold on to that speck and that darkness will be forced to flee. So reach out to those who you know are hurting. Reach out to those who tend to segregate themselves and let them know that they are seen. Let them know that they're not invisible, and just let people understand that there is someone who sees them and someone who cares for them.
Thank you for sharing that with us. I'd like to encourage everyone to help yourself to a snack, and also, of course, we're going to be signing books at the table in the left there.
And this is what the hardcover looks like. I don't have any other than this one in hand right now, so anyone who's ordering a hardcover, I will be ordering more after the launch parties.
Okay, maybe we should add one more time. If you'd like to buy a book, you can go to authorloriburnett@gmail.com. You can also order them on Amazon. And you can send a receipt to authorlori@gmail.com. She's always open for any kind of questions or thoughts, any kind of feedback from the book. She would love to hear from you.
Thank you.